Sanctuary St. Mary of Capo Colonna. Welcome to the Sanctuary of Capo Colonna, named after the Madonna of Capo Colonna. The first news about this church dates back to the 16th century, when the Lacinium Hill was under the Turk invasion. Some written sources tell us the story of this sanctuary. The first testimony comes from the Book of Miracles, written in 1598. It tells that in 1519 there was in Capo Colonna a church where a sacred image of a virgin so-called of the Cape was adored. Furthermore, it tells that in June of the same year the Turks landed on the hill, robbing the church and trying in vain to burn the image. Another source, Note of the Churches and of the Pious and Clerical Locations from 1777, mentioned that on the Lacinium Cape there were two churches, one which disappeared and that was dedicated to St. Charles Borromeo and to Our Lady of the Rosary, and one which was rural and dedicated to Our Lady of the Cape. In order to understand how the church appeared, it is necessary to refer to a source from 1839, report of the visit of the Bishop of Crotone, Leonardo Todisco the Great, to the Church of the Blessed Virgin of Capo Colonna. Reading this text, one can find out that the building was articulated in a chapel with an annexed sacristy, on the two sides of which there were two rooms. In the internal area, there were the main altar with a painting of the Blessed Virgin of Capo Colonna on top of it, and two other altars, one dedicated to Saint Joseph and the other to Saint Anne. In 1865, the land of Capo Colonna passed from being property of the church to being property of the municipality, who sold it in an auction to the Baron Luigi Berlingeri, member of the notable family from Crotone. The Berlingeri family was promoter of many restoration operations, starting from the end of the 19th century. In 1897, in a renovation operation ordered by Anselmo Berlingeri, the church was enriched with some architectonic beauties. Before that, in 1882, Gabrielina Berlingeri had donated the marble altar. Nowadays, the sanctuary layout is rectangular with a barrel vault, with the other three sides characterized by their simple architectural lines. At the center of the main facade, between two pilaster strips, with two spires on top with high pinnacles shaped as cones on a framed base, there is an entrance surmounted by a marble plate with this inscription, Venit in adjutorium populo Dei, an empty squared niche and a triplex frame in a pressed semicircular shape. Centrally, one can admire the tympanum with a frame with flamboyant elements and surmounted by a cross. South-facing, the main body of the church has a small bell tower with an octagonal plan with three breaches, in addition to the main one, and a pyramidal peak with a metallic cross on top of it, covered with white and reddish-purple majolica in a diamond shape. On the 13th of May 2012, the new bronze portal made by the sculptor from Calabria, Mario Strati, and found in a foundry from Reggio Calabria has been inaugurated. The bronze door depicts the most characteristic and loved themes of tradition and faith, in particular the theme of the believers who surround the sacred image on the hill immersed in a Mediterranean dimension away from the contemporary chaos. Past the door, on the left wall, there is a big black wooden cross with a painted image of Christ. On its feet there is a sort of a wooden scroll dating from 1701, with the name of the dedicating person, Antonio d'Olivadi. On the opposite side, the marble commemorative stone with polychrome inlay works is walled up, placed by the aristocrat from Crotone, Bonaventura Sculco, dated 1834. Further along, one can admire, one for each side, the reproductions of the paintings of Boschetto and De Falco, kept in the chapel of Our Lady of the Cape in the cathedral, painted in 1994 and 1995 by a local artist, Francesco Barberio, on the request of Don Bernardino Mongeluzzi, rector of the sanctuary, as written at the bottom of each panel. Convex frames in yellow calcarenite surround them. This material is also used for the baseboard which goes along the walls of the nave, the frame of the ciborium, the window sill, and for the small column in Doric style, which holds the baptismal basin. On the straight wall at the end of the church, a reproduction of the Madonna image present in the cathedral, consecrated in 1913 and depicted by the Neapolitan painter Filippo de Falco, dominates.